Okay, here's a good question. Is it true that Mahasi Sayadaw said that eventually the mental labeling in meditation can be dropped? Very good question. It shows that we have someone who knows something about the Mahasi Sayadaw tradition and technique and all of the little intricacies. My answer, no, Mahasi Sayadaw never said that. There's a book, and I probably have it here in my closet, that seems to suggest that. It's written in English. There is a Thai book that is translated in Thai that actually explicitly states that. Now, there is also, I'm trying to think, I researched this, because there's one statement where Mahasi Sayadaw, let me get it, okay? Well, maybe I don't have it. Maybe it's here somewhere. Oh, I know. It's got to be in my suitcase. I'm not going to find it. I won't dig it out. He says, and the Thai is actually quite good. The Thai explains what the Burmese is actually saying. You'd have to go to the Burmese and see exactly what he says. What he says is that some people criticize this technique of labeling, of noting the mantra. No, they criticize it, saying that as a result, the meditator will focus only on concepts, or the meditator will be, the mind will be focused on the concepts, right? So when you say rising, you'll be focused on a concept of the stomach rising, as opposed to actually focusing on the vayo dhatu, or the air element. Mahasi Sayadaw's answer to that is, it is true it is true that in the beginning a meditator will see only concepts. Panyati, I believe, is the word that he used. It's the word that they use in Thai. As the meditator progresses, the concept will fall away, and all that will be left is the ultimate experience of the ultimate reality. He never says that the meditator will cease to use the words, right? Now, what the Thai does, this terrible Thai book does, is it goes, in the beginning, whereas in the beginning the meditator will experience only concepts, and then in parenthesis it says noting, the word, or the noting. As the meditator progresses, they will drop the concept, or they will experience only the ultimate reality, or something, making it very clear, and I think even putting a footnote explaining what it means, that eventually the meditator doesn't have to use the noting anymore, which is certainly not what is said there. The English also misinterprets it in that way, but looking at the Thai, you can get a sense of what he's actually saying in Burmese, and I bet that's quite clearly what he says, because the Thai actually puts it in parentheses. The English glosses it over and just says, eventually the words will be given up, or something like that. But the word that he uses is not word, it's concepts. And that's clearly in line with the theory that we follow, that in the beginning the meditator, through this practice, will see only the concepts of the stomach rising and so on. But eventually the concepts will disappear, and when they say rising, they would simply be aware of the vayo dhatu. So no, as far as I understand, Mahasi Sayadaw never said that the mental labeling can be dropped. He may have elsewhere, but it would be a great shock to me. It was a shock to me to read that in English, because it makes no sense. Another answer that you might give to that is, when the point when the noting can be dropped, it can be dropped at some point. It can be dropped at the point when the meditator reaches anuloma jnana, the 12 12th stage of knowledge. Then the 13th is Gotrabhu, 14th, 15th, yeah. So the 12th stage of knowledge. Because at that point the mind needs no assistance. At that point the mind is seeing perfectly clearly the Four Noble Truths. From Anulomayan all the way to Palanyana, it's seeing the Four Noble Truths. And that happens automatically. So at that point, most especially when the meditator enters into Nibbana and is meditating, you could say is meditating on Nibbana or is in the experience of cessation, then there's no need for the noting. You could also say that an Arahant has no need to practice the noting, because what that means is the meditator has no need to meditate. So whether they actually do noting or not, you'd have to ask the Arahant themselves. Okay. What is that question?